So, what's more important to you, spending money to prosecute the former governor or spending it to fight crime on Chicago's streets? Tonight, a former federal prosecutor says our priorities in Chicago are wrong. CBS 2 chief correspondent Jay Levine is here tonight. And Jay, a lot of people claim the feds have all but abandoned the inner city. So what's their response?
Well, obviously, Rob, they emphatically deny it. They claim that those corruption trials make big headlines and give the false impression that everything else is being neglected. But others believe that perception is indeed reality, that too much money is being spent sending crooked politicians to Club Fed, too little sending gangbangers to Supermax.
By some estimates, the trial of Rod Blagojevich is costing taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. So did the prosecution of George Ryan, one former governor in jail, another who may be on his way. While in the inner city, the street gang violence has reached epidemic proportions.
Whatever Blagojevich did or did not do, it didn't cause our children being murdered.
Much like the legendary El Rukns did on the South Side back in the 60s, stopped only when the feds employed a full-court press to bring down the gang and leaders like Jeff Fort and Larry Hoover.
Could the same thing be done today?
It could.
50 shootings last weekend alone.
It's a very difficult problem, but here's what you do about it. You tell the leaders of that organization, those organizations, these kids get killed, we're coming after you.
Young people are dying every day. I think we need to first bring it to the community and fix what's going on in the community before we can, broaden our horizons with the corrupt politicians.
That's the view of most people we spoke with.
But the violence just is, it's become too much. It's just become too much.
I don't think that gangs is at the moment the #1 priority.
What is?
I think public corruption.
We're meeting on a regular basis, the law enforcement in this town that are fighting gangs. And we are trying to figure out who are the leaders who are out there and who are the up-and-coming leaders.
But the message, the strategy, and perhaps the impact is not getting through to community leaders.
The federal government has chosen to not do a thing about the guns and the drugs and the gang structure that's paralyzing communities.
I don't think it's fair to say that any law enforcement, group of law enforcement agents can stamp out the gang problem in a city like Chicago. We have prosecutors who wake up every day thinking about their gang prosecutions and what they can do to make this city safer. And, and hopefully we are.
With all due respect to John Lausch, who seems extremely committed and passionate about what he does, you'd never know it from what we see on the streets nearly every weekend. Former prosecutor Safer says he needs more resources to send a message with repeated federal full-court presses every single time a gang is involved in a murder. That, Safer believes, is the only way to stop the killing. Rob.
Well, you illustrated the full court press does work, so why isn't it being used?
Well, it seems to be a matter of resources. First, the feds say it is. They are doing everything they can. But if you take a look at all the political corruption cases that are going on, there's only a limited pie. There's only a limited pot of resources. It would be naive to believe that something isn't suffering.
Okay. Jay Levine, thank you.